Hi everybody, I'm going to be waiting a few minutes to see who pops on. I've never done this before. Tonight I'm going to be talking about my books and what exactly are the types that I recommend, just because I have quite a few favorites. Hi, how are you? Hey you. Hi buddy, go into your room. Thank you everybody for showing up. Okay, sweetie, I love you. It's my first live, guys. If something messes up, please forgive me. I've never done this before, so this is new for me. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you all. Everybody on here is like the most appreciated. I'm very glad that you're all joining me because this is new for me, so I'm glad that I have supporters that are showing up here. I do feel good. The difference in cases really does put a different toll on my body, so I am a bit... Hi, Angel. How are you? It's good to hear from you. I'm doing your reading tomorrow. But I just wanted to get on here and tell everybody a few things and just a bunch of specific things. And I'd like to show you a few crystals that you can work with for a better coping mechanism. I'm glad you caught this too, because I was worried of who wasn't going to be on and who wasn't, just because I've never done it before and I didn't know how many people were actually going to show up. I'm not answering any questions about Savannah. That's not to be rude about to anybody. That is being left alone for this type of live. I'm not going to answer any questions about Savannah. It's being kept private for a reason. I don't know if there's anybody else on here. I can't see any more faces. Again, I've never done this, so please excuse me. Thank you. Just gonna get a quick drink. I'm just waiting for a couple more people to pop on. I see there's 12 on here so far. I'm so old way about me. I don't use really computers. I don't use any of that kind of stuff. This is new to me. This is like this big deal going live. While I do have a few people on here, I'm just going to show you some crystals that I personally work with. This is epiphyllite. It's very good for the chakras. Works really, really, really good. And then you have rose quartz. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. Molly Tippett's case was a very, very, very controversial thing, period. That for me in itself is really hard to distinguish why more wasn't done or more wasn't in the media. Hi, Donna. I promised I was going to do the live. It's just the way I had been feeling. It was just really difficult for me to just do the video not being at 100 or doing readings, just because you have to be at 100 doing these, because you can weaken yourself even further. So it was just really hard for me to do any further readings. So I'm going to be doing Loving My Babies tomorrow night, and I'm going to be going MIA again for a few weeks so I could just get to back to this place. Thank you. I'll be seeing you tomorrow night. You did. I swear I could call you Mom because you feel like such a mom energy to me. But I definitely feel a lot better, a lot better. Just, I feel more grounded, more centered, more healthier. Yeah, this is definitely a crystal that you want to get. Even if you just get a small chunk, you don't have to go all expensive. Uh, I like to work with the bigger crystals. I like to work with the bigger crystals because they have more energy to them. So it really, for me, it matters on the size. And I work with the little guys too, just as simple as that. The rose quartz, I love rose quartz. I use a lot because I'm highly connected to rose quartz, highly connected. It does, it really does. You use so much of your energy. You can buy them online at your local spiritual shops that they have. They can have at the mall. They can even have, yeah, isn't it? I have another one. It's a darker, but it's still rose quartz, and I always have a piece of rose quartz near me or like a little chunk on me. I actually carry this piece personally with me. Just it gives off so much self-loving energy, and it's just really good for you to hold and carry. Um, I do have a few books, and the purpose of me being live tonight is for just to see if anybody's gonna come hang out with me tonight, like my live viewers here. How I usually do it between me and the person I read for is I just tell them to say hello to who they want to say hello to, and you know, say a name to themselves out loud, and just go tell them, come say hi to me, but in a loving, gentle way. And they had to be a good person in life, because if you're a good person in life, you're also that way in the afterlife. I've already got a name. And when I'm done with the live, I'm going to get to the names that I have that have come through. And if they're for you, just come on down here and let me know that that name is related to you in some way. Hello, Nicole. How are you? Shauna, thank you. I try to be pleasant all the time. It's just a good way to be. Just the more pleasant you are, the more pleasant energy you're going to have around you. You can buy bulk. I actually bought all three of these pieces together, and the price was $134 altogether. But if you can see the sizes on them, they're actually full, huge pieces. How are you? These are huge pieces. Like, I don't know if I can, huge. They're very big, and they give off such amazing energy. And any of these stones, you can just set them in the sun for about up to 4 hours. It's good to see you again. I hope everybody's doing well. You can just put these right in the sun and leave them there for a few hours. Any of the dark crystals, though, never leave in the sun, only the moonlight, because the sun can bleach them. So how I let people know is you can bury them 3 days in the earth. What I'm going to be doing, honey, is if people want private readings, I am trying to set up a separate email because some people don't want their readings posted, which that's okay. I only do the YouTube ones. Probably did. They're always around me constantly. Yeah, I'm very connected to amethyst, rose quartz. The love, just the rose quartz alone for me, I'm just, it grounds me back to feeling good about myself, and I can be centered, and I feel so much self-love and self-worth for myself, you know what I mean? Because sometimes when you're this way, sometimes you forget to love yourself, and everybody knows here on me, about me, that I constantly forget about myself, and I worry about all the people I read for, just the spirits that come through. Gets a word being said again, but it's the same exact one. I have a Brian being said to me right now. Absolutely, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, the energy is amazing. I'm trying to read all the messages and listen at the same time. Hi, I'm from Mississippi. You're amazing. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. Hey, Miss Lady to you. I don't know if Brian means anything to anybody that's gotten on so far, but that name has been said twice now. So I'm trying to speak about the books, the crystals, watch you guys, and listen all at the same time. It's really tough, but this was the point of the video. You know what I do? I actually have a crystal pillow where I will place the crystals under my pillow and seal it in for the night, or I put them on my headboard. For the first time, Yvette, for my first time. Kira Coles, you know, I'm only going to say this about the Savannah case because this happened to me a few weeks ago. She had stepped in on the reading, and hi, I'm going to say this as politely as I can. I'm so happy to see you too. I was knocked on my ass. Excuse my language. I miss everybody too. I had her here, Jamie Kloss's mother, which that was the second time that happened to me in Savannah. So, and also a male. And it was just like I had been put on my ass really hard. Hi, Felicia. He just really came out here and was talking to me, and he wanted to step in, but it's just a little late for him to, you know, I want him to come on and eventually say hi to everybody and thank everybody for the prayers. It's definitely just past his bedtime, so, but he's doing okay. He's smiling, and that's the most important thing to me, that he smiles, because he's such a loving little boy. Oh, there you go. So this is the point of the video. Like I said, honey, I can't really comment on her case, just for a reason why I'm sure you would get. Yeah, I'm watching him in the hospital. I don't want to talk about it too much because I get emotional still. He suffered badly, and it was a lot as a mother to watch him go through what he did. When I get messages, so we're clear, the messages can be for the living, or it's a passed on person. It doesn't have to necessarily mean the person is passed on. Sometimes it's the passed on person that wants to speak to the living, or vice versa. So it can mean either or, but usually I just say what names come through and basically try to leave that up to the person to figure out. So if I'm doing a reading face to face with somebody, sorry, I just got the word Skype, so I don't know if somebody's thinking about asking, do I do Skype readings? What I do is, in front of the person, this is what people don't understand about me. So well, I'm just going to say, honey, whatever names that come through, and if, you know, I don't even want you to post any names of who you want to come through. This is who I am. I want no info. What I want you to do as the people that are watching this, say it to yourself, and I'll see what's communicated to me, because that's how I work. When I am in front of somebody doing a private reading, what I do is I tell them to call over whoever they want to call over, but don't say it out loud. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's why I don't care when somebody calls me fake, because my husband actually laughs at those kind of comments, because he's like, they just don't have any idea. Like, I'm not somebody that brags about anything like that, because I just laugh that type of comment off. Because what people don't realize is I do local private readings, and I tell the person that I read for, do not give me any info. You can tell me a first name, and that's really it. I mean, people don't realize if you're a fake, you can't get anything off a first name if you're a fake. Okay, we'll be seeing who comes through. I have a Ryan, if I can hear it. Ryan. I could be hearing, sometimes the syllables can be off by a letter. So, but I have a Brian and Ryan are very close. I was thinking if I could do a video chat, and you just said it. Yeah, it happens like that, honey. So, see, what people don't realize is I'm not just a medium. I'm a clairvoyant medium, and that's not some. I think. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read these at Skype. You are a blessing. Thank you so much, honey. Hi, Nicole. What people don't realize is I think they mislook that part and they just see the medium part, like, because mediums are always all over the place, you know. They, yeah, okay, my palms are looking. When people see medium, they just assume medium is that the only thing they can do is talk to the passed on, and that's not really just it. Hi, Becca. People who are mediums usually can also do other things. Well, thank you. Hi, Tamora Brown. I hope I said your name right. Please excuse me because the writing is really small and I'm blind as a bat. I have glasses on. My eyesight's gotten really worse. I really love. Thank you. So that's what I really tell people. You seem so. Thank you. I try to be, because you know what the most uncomfortable thing is? When you're doing a reading for somebody, the worst part about it is I can feel when they're tense and I can pick up on it. It kind of makes me lose my breath a little bit, and I'll feel somewhat of a highly anxious feeling, and I'll tell them you have to calm down because I can feel that from you, and it's kind of bothering me to where if you have it, people are scared about this stuff. It's the unknown. It's to be totally expected. Trust me, sometimes it gets a little rough. Hi, oh, I've heard that name before. I'm sorry, Katharina, or no, I think it was Catherine. I'm sorry, there's a word being said. I'm trying to listen. Okay, well, they'll come back. I try to be so down to earth, so relaxing to talk to, because people need that. They go through enough in life. They don't need to be filled with doubts already about you. They have to know when they come to you that you're the real deal. You're not this. It's funny because a lot of people say that they can. Well, I have my TV on too, honey. I have to have my TV on. It's very tough for me to, when I do this spiritual work, that sure that sometimes I get lost in the quiet and it can get so noisy from them all speaking at once that it gets to me really bad, and I have to be able to kind of like drown them out in a little bit. It's along my island me. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to read all your comments. I'm so sorry. I'm not, some of them are just going up and I'm not getting to read them. If you could re-comment on some of them. Oh, okay. I'm trying not to ask any questions to whoever speaks. I only want this to be as a verification for you in some and anybody first. I know. I'm sorry. These messages are going so fast for me. Thank you. Whatever comes through, I'll just write down and let everybody know what's being said. Thinking your dream was in what way, dear? And that's another thing. I have a recommendation for you guys. You don't have to buy it. I'm sure you can just look the stuff up online, but it really helps with dream decoding on these dreams that people may have. I'm sorry, my videos, just my live is like all over the place, answering questions, listening, and trying to catch up with all the questions. I've never done this before, so if I look a little bit all over the place with everything and not staying, I apologize. This is just something new to me. This book right here, this book, I meant to say, well, when a spirit, sometimes there's people that could hear them but can't see them, or vice versa. Thank you. I've seen spirits my whole life. But I guess seeing them and hearing them, sometimes you don't always do them both at once. I If Savannah has anything to say, I write it down, and I am working on her case still. I haven't given up on it. I work on all my cases. If they come through and speak, I still write everything down. Um, okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I just heard. Uh, thank you. It's nice to see everybody. I just heard a name being said, but I'll let everybody know in the end. This book right here, everybody, I get a lot of people about their dreams, and it's the Big Dictionary of Dreams, the ultimate resource for interpreting your dreams by Martha Clark. And I'm not saying go out and buy it. This is just my personal preference. It's helped me out for a long time because I'm not this huge, my dreams, I've learned to incorporate them. Thank you, honey. My dreams, I've learned how to read them in a way that I know what's going to come, what you are. Thank you, honey. You guys are so sweet. Thank you all so much. Your kind words are so amazing. I haven't, but I've heard the name Relisha Rudd before twice now. And that name, and there's another one, but I can't remember what the name was. If it was another female name. I'm sorry, I was trying to read that one and it just dissipated on me. Relisha Rudd, I've heard twice. Yes, she does. Off and on, but she repeats the same thing, and I personally don't know what it means. And to me, it's the same thing, so I don't repeat another video just because I try not to be on this type of thing a lot. Just because, as you guys know, if you know me, I always talk about reading. I always talk about I'm locally reading. I walk people's homes. I pick up the energy. I can also pick up past energy of the land. It sounds crazy, I know. I always talk about this in the sense because I'm not used to people. I've only had this station, my YouTube station, for a year, and I've only been publicly like this a couple of years now. To me it does, because I've always been afraid of what people are going to judge me for. So my mom always said, yes, she does. My mom always said, don't ever do this because people aren't ever going to understand you. They're not like us. And I just tried to always see that differently. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do all these things at once. I'm not getting some of the questions. I apologize. Yeah. When I pick up on past energies, for some reason, I pick up, your heart will start to pound. You'll sometimes get headaches, possibly weak feeling, tingly. Yes, my mom, a few of my sisters are. My granddaughter's 2.5, and she's like, I'm floored by her. I try to make it as comfortable for her as it is and make it feel, yes, lightheaded too. I try to make her feel as normal as possible because that's the most important thing. My mom tried to make us hide this, and that's part of the reason why I was so scared to just be me most of the time, because she just said people will never understand people like us. People would never understand. They would never understand us, and they would judge us. Yeah, some people are so cruel that I used to cry a lot of the times, but I just knew after a while this was what I was supposed to do. And 2 years now, I've been doing so great, and thank you very, very much. You guys really touched my heart. You have no idea. This means a lot to me because This was very hard for me to do. Just the station alone, going live, it was just really, really hard on me, because I was just more, this is new for me, even though it's been a couple years. You know, being local is not a bad thing for me because, you know, sounds fun. Yes, thank you. And the more I do, the more raw it gets, the more it's strange because I don't even surprise myself anymore. I don't even get like wowed. Sometimes I do, but then there's times just like, you know, whatever. Around here, it sounds so funny because there was a certain woman that called me, she gave me the nickname of the ghost box, and I laughed at it, but then I realized she was seriously calling me that, and that's what her nickname is when she calls me for a reading or just anything. I don't know about anybody that does this type of work, but I'm highly, highly connected to Native Americans, and I mean so connected to them that it was, I would say, about 4 months ago, and sometimes it is, but when people are just like, hey, it's the ghost box, when you're out in public, yeah, I'm just like, shh, you know, because then you draw attention to yourself, and then people are going to walk up to you and just, you know, I try not to make a big spectacle of it because, you know, believe it or not, I do this work, but I'm super shy, super shy. I'm 20% Native American. I live on what I believe to be partial burial ground. Thank you. Thank you. I live on partial burial ground, and behind my property line, Brittany, I saw part of your message, but when I get this email set up to whoever doesn't want a video done, I will do that. It's just with all that I do here, it's really hard. I love like Native Americans, period. I don't even like calling them natives because they're the actual voice of this country. And I call the earth grandfather and mother. It sounds funny, but that's what us natives have called this place for many, 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 many years before anybody came here. But needless to say, so everybody's kind words, just thank you all so much. I also have, I'm open to video. Okay. I am working, like I said, on the sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to read all these. Hello, Anna. I'm sorry, I have another comment coming across. Yes, I'm trying to work on email, back to that. It's not only that I do local readings here, hello, sweet Sammy. I also have a candle business. You know, that's funny you say that about the little Native American boy, because when it's late here, there's a little boy that peeks his head around my door casings, and I'll tell him, you know, if it's okay that you come out and sit with me, as long as, you know, I don't like to be touched. And not that they scare me, but sometimes the way they passed in life, because they don't have a body. Absolutely. They don't have a body. So what people don't realize is when a spirit touches you or you pick up on how they passed away, they're not really hurting you. They're not really evil. They're not trying to they're not trying to hurt you in any way. What's going on is because they don't have a body, your body is picking up on what has happened to them. So they're showing you with their energy what has happened to them in life. They're not trying to hurt you. And I know some people are, some people are going to make it so kind of, yeah. Like sometimes I'll get like my hair to move and it feels like little trickles moving up my hair. I'm doing Loving My Babies next. That's a private reading. I've been trying to get the list diminished, but I have a lot of cases that are murder cases, and unfortunately, it takes me time to get back to a way that I can function again. Sometimes the murder cases take so much out of me that I can only, I'm an in-home nurse. I sell candles. I walk the lands. I do private readings, publicly. This summer I'm going to be doing a psychic fair, and that's coming out of my pocket. I'm renting a place. I'm having people come to do readings, and that's it. I don't do this to become a millionaire. It's for me, that's not in the cards for me because that's not what's meant for me. My job is taking care of my kids, and I wish I could. If Caleb could travel, I would. I sometimes feel so guilty because there are so many people that need help to be brought to justice that are still missing and never even been found. I can't even imagine how their families feel to never be able to. I would love everybody to come. Then I would really have to have a huge place. I would help anybody. Thank you so much. I would help anybody. Honest to God, I would help anybody. The reason why things like this take me so long is with Caleb, my nephew, my job, the candles, the private readings, just my home life. I forget about myself completely. There's days where I forget to eat. As crazy as that sounds, I forget to eat. And I'm just thinking to myself, finally, when I sit down, I didn't eat today. And it's crazy because I prepare food. I have 2 granddaughters that are with me. My daughter works. So getting a second for myself, this is why I do it so late at night. It's really hard to do anything during the day. The summertime, I try to get it in during the day just because, the kids are off and about. You are just the sweetest person ever. You really are. I'll be seeing you tomorrow night, and don't be surprised if I cry in camera. I'm a big baby. I feel like, and that's another thing, spirits come to me and they say these things, and I wish I could just take everything in for them and just make it go away. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to read at the same time. There is such a huge waiting list, and I don't mean to make people out to be like this name on a piece of paper, because if I could do 50 cases, 100 cases a day and not feel the way I feel just after one, I would do it. I would do it because that's what I feel like, that's what God would want me to help. You understand exactly. And sometimes Caleb will just be like, Mama, you have to sit down. You have to take a break. And he treats me like I'm this It is very draining, so draining. Sometimes I don't think some people can even understand what it is. Jasmine Cooper, thank you so much, honey. If I could, like I said, if I could do these cases all day and get every single person done, I would. I'm sorry, if you could repeat that one, honey, about passing away after you woke up. I'm so sorry. It's difficult every day, but you know what? I do it because I know I have to. And if I don't, you know, who's my son going to be taken care of by? Who is my nephew going to be taken care of by? This is my family. They didn't ask to be this way, you know. They were just born, you know. Unfortunately, my nephew was in a massive car accident, and he was a bodybuilder, and now he's paraplegic. So it's really tough on him, but he's probably one of the strongest people I've ever met, because going in 4 years now, and he still has the will to smile. So for me, that is so, thank you, honey. I try not to, you know. The only one, you know, the ones that call me crazy, I'm just like, nah, whatever. Or the ones that you're faking, I'm just like, whatever, I don't care. I don't care, because I don't care. I could literally just document and go on and on and on and on about things, but I don't care. It just, you get to a point in life where you have to realize, if you're going to help people, this kind of heat comes with, you know, this type of work. Yeah, they do. They really do. I take a lot of heat for spirits. I get, I guess you could say, verbally abused by certain people, I suppose. But it's really all on my YouTube channel, because I don't deal with that in my hometown. And there was a question. Sorry, I'm just drinking my ginger ale. I try to... When someone in my local town, you know, I don't really get, I'm sorry, I don't really get backlash from anybody in my hometown. I was afraid for nothing. It's honestly, I've gotten more awful, mean things on YouTube than I have in my whole life. But this comes with a job. I take the heat for the spirits because they need our help. And when you guys validate things, and if I go into details as saying, like, I can't say something, it's not to make you feel like I don't want you to help or anything. It's just, there's a reason why I can't, because sometimes I'm sure there's somebody right now watching my video in one of my cases to find things out. I'm anticipating that. If I tell you I can't give you out, like, my address or anything, not my address, but my hometown, if I was just doing regular readings, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read your questions. You know, I've contacted 2 families in the disappearance of, you know, their children. You know, I got one person that listened, and then I got another one that just thought I was whacked out crazy. You know, it happens. Most likely. I had a strange, my first husband. Donna, you get exactly what I mean. The stress level from being caretaker is really hard. What Native Americans here I have on my property line, I believe past my property line is a Indian burial ground. If I knew how to post pictures, well, actually I could post pictures on live. I could actually, like, take them from my iPad and show them to you now that I'm live. I'll do another live eventually then and show you. I have constant spiritual activity around my property line. And in last summer, my granddaughter and I took my dog out. It doesn't matter what time my dog Leah goes out, I let her out, and it's pitch black outside my backyard. You can't see a thing. And my granddaughter had said, "There's the man, Nani." And I don't see anything because no two mediums see the same energy. And she pointed out exactly where the spirit was. And when I tell you the pictures that I took in my yard was unbelievable. My granddaughter and my dog stopped in her tracks and she backed up. And I had the photo. Oh yeah, they're all over. I am part of Italian too. If I could show you my genealogy report, you'd laugh. I'm like so many different things. My granddaughter, like I said, pointed out a spirit that was actually caught on camera in the same exact spot she pointed to, and my dog wouldn't even go on my grass. What had happened is the business behind me. No, I don't rest. My Everybody tells me like I'm gonna sound. It sounds awful. I'm gonna die young of being overexhausted. They had dug up something back there, and the area started getting heavy. And heavy is in the meaning of like massive spiritual energy is around my property. And picking it up last summer, I picked it up. My granddaughter actually saw, and when I took the pictures, it was very. I found it to be disturbing, but I actually found pictures of a native chief that inhabited these lands, and I was pretty stunned. He does speak with her off and on. She tells me everything he says. My granddaughter's only going on 3, and she talks like as if she's so much older, and she just doesn't belong in that little body. So I knew then, for me, that was my big answer. Is she going to be a medium too? Because she saw in the dead of night, and I mean pitch black, this face in the corner of my backyard, and it was pretty stunning for me. And she had been talking to somebody prior to in my home, but kids at that age, you have to just let them be them, and you can't. I don't like to put thoughts where they don't belong. So this, for me, my granddaughter, she is very she doesn't really know or understand this part of me yet. She knows about the crystals. She sees me with the crystals all the time, and she'll sit here with her head like the silly crystals. She's funny as it can be. Yeah, it's you know being scared. You have to ask yourself, what are you afraid of? Thank you so much. Making these videos and talking about cases and stuff, I never did this for subscribers. I didn't think it would go the way it did. I just did it to just put the information out there so people would hear it. And the cases that I've done, there's people that are on the Kiara Cole's case, the Savannah case. Oh God, all the other cases, and even private ones that I've done that I don't know the private cases about anything at all until I ask them to validate after the videos are made. And it's like, I guess it's the feeling of doing this for so long, you don't feel anything about it anymore. You just feel good about helping, and that's where the gift is. You feel good about helping. I appreciate all your kind words, everybody. Carol, it's really tough sometimes because you have to balance your life. It can't always be about, you know, I've never done a past life reading, but I've picked up on past life things. Like, I call it crazy because I'm just so not used to being open about certain stuff. Thank you, honey. Marisol, you're very sweet. Um, it's hard to explain, but I know 2 of my past lives, and oddly, I try because some people they make it so. Thank you. people try to make things so technically termed that you don't understand what they're saying. And if people could just be more laid back and understanding and try to listen more instead of talking, I'd rather listen to you guys instead of talk. And a lot of the videos that I make, like the last few ones, I did educational purposes and quest wise. And I got somebody asked me, why are you making these videos? You should be doing these readings. And I'm just like, I don't have to do any of this. And it's not about constant readings. I have to have a balance in my life. I do it to help everybody. I just couldn't believe some of the audacity of some people that were telling me, why am I getting off this person's case? You should be staying on that. And I'm just like, I don't think people realize or get it. Christy Love, darling. Felicia Williams. Calling it a gift, you know, sometimes I would think as a kid, you're fine. I would think this was a curse, or I thought I was crazy. But when things, the first substantial thing that I can remember, my mom said I used to do things younger, but I don't recall them. I don't remember. I can't validate those things, so I'm not even going to bother mentioning them. But when I was 4 years old, I actually started school at 4 years old. I went to Catholic schools till I was like 12, 13. I remember dreaming, and in my dreams, I don't know if you guys do this a lot. I try, but it doesn't work out that way. When I was 4, I remember walking down my school hallway. And in my dreams, I always look down at my feet for some reason. I don't know, there's probably a few of you do that too, I have a feeling. And I saw my schoolgirl skirt, and I saw my shoes and my leggings. And I remember walking into the left into my classroom, and I saw the desk, I saw the chalkboard, and I saw the teacher. And exactly as how I saw it, the same exact thing happened the very, very next day. And I thought, what does this mean? And my mom is very gifted. She's very subtle. She's very secretive. And anything that I needed to figure out, I need to figure it out on my own. It couldn't be said by her. You know, I understand that because my mom, she never would speak to us about the gift. She seemed afraid of her gift. And I always asked her, Mama, how could we live in a house that's haunted every time? How is it every single house is haunted? It just can't be simple. It can't be like that in so every house that I went to, I just thought it was haunted because every house I went to, there was something there. Not bad, just every house I went to, there was something there. There are spirits that are negative. There are spirits that are evil. I stay away from anything negative. Remember, things that are negative are energies, period. No matter what you look at it, it's an energy. And there are thought process. There's things that you can think about and actually create. It sounds crazy and unbelievable, but you can actually do that. So there's thought forms, they call them, things that have been put there in a way that shouldn't have been put there. There's land spirits that have lived and died, or there's spirits that are so old that they're not even recorded in time. I don't know if you guys can understand what I mean by that. But there are so many things out there that we are incapable of knowing about. Does anyone ever have the ability to gain the gift? In my family, my mother Oh, I believe it was a girl, honey, because I've actually done that. I've had 4 miscarriages in my life, and I'm also a person that has endometriosis. And I'm sorry, I'm just gonna put this candle over here. It's drying my mouth out. I'm very sensitive to stuff, so I had dreamed I was having a girl. I feel it was a girl. I have one daughter. So I also had a dream about a little boy, and I also believe that was a little boy because it was like I could feel what I was carrying. Sorry, I just need a drink. Some people can dream about their children before they're born. Or what happens is sometimes, and this has been done with my niece and my daughter, it's difficult. You know, I had to have surgery done, and it doesn't relieve anything. Oh, I'm going to show those pictures, Carol. I got to get them together, though, because there's quite a few. When my niece and my daughter were pregnant at the same time, it was odd because I had done this before. I just didn't realize what it was. I'll get to that question in a minute about sleep paralysis. When my daughter and my niece were pregnant at the same time, it was strange because I was seeing this little boy run around and then this little girl run around. And they were just these tiny little kids, like they had 1 or 2. And it was strange because it all stopped when they had the kids. And it was funny because my daughter had the girl and my niece had the little boy. And oddly, the pictures that I saw of the children running around, I actually have pictures of them in life. So I knew that was them saying hello. I also have another case where my friend and her boyfriend, they just stopped someplace randomly and they took a picture as like it's a girl. She was pregnant. And I had looked in the background and I said, Trinity, do you see that little girl in the background? Who is that? It was a little girl peeking her head from a door, like an entranceway. And she's like, no. I was like, and I blew up the picture for her. This little girl had beautiful flowing hair and she was smiling like she was playing peekaboo. And she had a girl. And you know, all the readings that I have listed, I still have a whole bunch more to have to even write down. What I'm trying to do is just go person by person now, because I noticed, you know, every time I try to go do something and try to do a case, it's like wham, I get hit and I'm just like, not actually physical hit, but my energy is just so knocked very hard that it's like I don't even have the energy to do it. I can't be 100%. I can't do it. Hi, Sharonica Robbins. And it's just really difficult because I have so many cases and I've promised to get so many done. And it's hard because you have to really try to keep up with this kind of work. And unfortunately, I don't have control over who comes through. Sometimes I'll have a reading in front of me that I'm doing for somebody, and then I'll get change reading, stop the reading. And when that happens, I have to stop because that person that I was supposed to read for is not going to come through because this other person is strongly intended and they want to speak. That happened to me with the Kiara Coles case and the Jamie Kloss case. When she first went missing, the Jamie Kloss girl, I put the two in front of me, the names, and I said to Jamie, if you are passed on, please come through. Kiara, if you're passed on, please come through. Not now, Kiara. I didn't mean that right now. Sorry. Hi, Linda. I was waiting for you. And I tried with the Jamie first, and it was like a flat line. It was like nothing. No, I'm not too busy to do yours, honey. It's just I'm trying to just do one at a time and not make promises because I feel bad when I break my promises to you guys. And I just hate breaking promises to you guys because I feel like I'm letting you guys down. So I just say one person's name and I try to make a date and stick with it. And that's who's actually next after Jennifer. That's, and you know, it wouldn't bother me if you guys unsubscribed and came back later in a date and see how far I am before you're reading. That doesn't bother me. You know, I just do this to help. And whoever's patiently waiting, and I appreciate that. It's, you know, I'm just trying to help you guys and save people money. Um, there's just so many different things that's going on all the way at once. There's my Linda. She was my private reading, and it was funny because it was something about her name I couldn't understand. Like there was supposed to be more, or there was something that wasn't there, and she verified that for me, and it was funny. I don't know, honey. Sometimes just people speaking to you is emotional, you know. That's how I can sit down and just see something on yes, Linda. I can see something on TV and it can be something very small and I can just weep and cry like a big baby. Uh, Sometimes there are people that are just called sensitives and they can pick up on I seem like this down to earth talkative person, but no one really knows me deep inside enough to know sometimes I cry behind closed doors at night about my son, stuff like that. I can't even finish talking about it because this is how I get. I cry like a big baby. Just, you know, and people can pick up on that stuff about you, you know. It doesn't have you don't have to be highly intuitive. You can pick that up if you're just a sensitive. A sensitive person is what I call an empath. For another word, yeah. And an empath has a very hard job because exactly. Caleb's actually in his room laying down. Yeah, and being empathic, honey, it's rough because I can't watch sad things on TV or certain music. Or sometimes I'll just sit there and I'll look at my son and I'll just say, you know, who's going to take care of my baby when I'm gone? You know, that's the kind of stuff I worry about. And I know I have family and my kids, but there's nothing more better than your mama's love, you know. And the reason why I try to give my kids so much love is because I didn't get that as a child. My mom was very strict. She was very closed in. She's very much like me, so if she touched me, she could feel my pain, or, you know, it's very difficult because I'm not only an empath, you know, clairvoyant, I'm also a medium. All those three combined are one big punch, and it's real tough. Anybody that has this kind of gift, sometimes it can feel like a curse. Yeah, exactly. Hello, HT family. But I just want everybody to know I'm not avoiding anybody. I just work really hard and I try to do my best to help everybody. It's just very, very tough. That's all I can really say. And in this type of work, you can only ever explain it as in you say what you feel, you say what you hear, and you just go from there. Signs of an empath. Thank you, Linda. Signs of an empath are... Thank you, Christy. Being an empath, I can explain it to you from my point of view, and I can explain it to you in a way that you'll know for yourself. When you're an empath, you take in others' energies of their feelings. So when you're in a room full of people and you just feel angry out of nowhere, you're actually picking up on somebody's anger. I've done that, honey. And I'll get to that question in a minute, honey. An empath literally is like feeling what others feel, but you carry it with you. It's kind of like you have to shake it off. For me, I can't watch. I pick up on people's. The one thing an empath can tell is when a liar is in the room, because what kills me is nobody in my house can get away with lying to me whatsoever. And it's funny because they'll try to hold back on the funniest things, and you can pick up when someone's lying to you. You can pick up when someone's cheating on you. You can pick up anything. The signs are just like, you can pick up on a lot. You can pick up on people's intent. Perfect example. I worked at a Dunkin' Donuts years ago, and a man walked behind the counter, and I said, what? And I don't know what the hell hit me, but I was like, what the hell are you doing in my store? And I know who not to shake hands with. I know who not to let touch me, hug me, anything. I'm very funny about shaking hands with people because I can feel their energies. So that's another thing. If you shake somebody's hand and you get a really bad vibe, get away from them. My gut feelings have gotten me and saved me through quite a bit. More so than less. And as I've gotten older, more so. I don't want to say I've ever been wrong, because that would just sound foolish. And when I was in my store, a man walked behind the counter, and I don't know why I blurted it out, but I knew this man was a child molester. And come to find out, he was a baker in the back. And I'm not going to say any names, because that would just be, in some ways, I guess you would say, wrong. I'd like to expose who he is, but I'm not going to do that. And I had spoken with the manager in the back. I said, what do you think you're doing? So this is a family-oriented place. What the hell are you doing? They can't discriminate against people like that, so they tend to get a lot of night jobs. But I knew exactly what he was, and I was physically ill every time he stepped from the bakery to the front of the store. And I know that sounds awful, but I was mean to him every time. And I know that's bad, but I couldn't stomach him because I knew what he did. Yeah. I have actually picked up on, I don't know what you would call it. It sounds strange, but my grandmother used to call them tasters. They taste your energy. Oh yeah, I can tell if somebody's an empath. I can pick that right up. An empath is a very emotional, highly sensitive person. You can just tell that by the way they view the world, I guess you could say, in a sense. Empaths are very loving, are very kind, are very generous. They try to fix everything for people. They're constantly hugging people, the good things. And sometimes they very, very compassionate. Yes, I guess I wouldn't doubt it, honey. There's a lot of people that don't realize what an empath is, and they don't even realize they have it. When I was at my job, and I had waited on a lady in the drive-thru, and I had handed her I had my face on the register, and I had put my hand out with my hand cupped open. And it was odd because one second I was fine, and the next minute it was really that was the one time that somebody asked me if I was ever scared. That was the one time that I was so terrified I hid and in a corner like a little child. And I called my sister and I said, please come get me. I feel like and I threw up in the bathroom and everything. It's not what had happened, it was what I felt. And it was really, 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 I would call this evil. I wouldn't call it bad. I would call this evil because it was what had happened to me in that instance. I cut my hand for the, some people can be cruel to it. Like, you try to always have a positive attitude, and people who are empathic always have a higher sense of positivity. And it's really hard for empaths to be around negative people, loud noises, a TV on and a phone on. That can make you mad. And the lady had grabbed my hand, and I was looking at her like, what are you doing? She wouldn't answer me back. The only thing she was doing, she gave me the most eeriest, evil smile ever. And I pulled my hand away and I slammed the window in front of her. And she stood in that drive-through in her car, and that smile stayed on her face. And she wouldn't move from the drive-through. I actually hid behind the ice machine. And some people don't realize that. A lot of people take instances for coincidences. I believe so. And it was so bad. But the creepy thing about it is she stayed in that window with a smile, and I can still see her face right now, and it still freaks me out to even talk about it. But that was one instance where my example could have been, I was terrified. And then she drove around to the side door, and she sat in her car and still smiled. And it wasn't normal to me, because it was like she was frozen, and it was just very weird in general that and when she touched me, I became like shaky physically. And it wasn't that she only grabbed my finger and I pulled it away, but it was like the facial features were very bad, and it just not something that I ever want to experience again. And it was like she was frozen there in that very smile, and it was like she wasn't moving. And the odd part about that was, no, she wasn't elderly. She was probably my age now. I was probably in my 20s when this happened, but other experiences, or no, I was in my 30s, excuse me. What am I thinking? But when this happened, when she touched me, I became physically, and when I say physically ill, to the point where I felt vile, ill, like bad, like something bad touched me, to the point where I felt like I had to vomit. And I waited for her to leave my drive-through, and I hid like a little child. And I ran into the bathroom, I threw up, and I was shaking on the floor of my store bathroom. And I called my sister, said, please come get me, something's really wrong. And she explained to me what had happened. And we call psychic vampires in my family tasters. You feel so sick when, yes, because you're picking up on things like, oh yeah, when you're nervous, sometimes it's very hard for me to even get my words out. It's not that I'm nervous, it's just sometimes I'm not too sure what to say, because it's really sometimes hard for me to explain. And I try to be down to earth and helpful for you guys, so I try to calm it down some. When you can sit next to a person, you can actually pick up on how each person feels. If you were to actually move around the room, thank you, honey, the people lounge, thank you, you can actually pick up on different feelings. It's odd, but if you sit next to, try that as an exercise. If you ever have a spacious place or a bus, I don't like it. That's one thing. I'll get to that in 1 second. Try sitting on a bus that's not too packed and sit, just randomly move. Make it about like you're not getting reception on your phone, just so it doesn't look odd on your part. Do that exercise, and you're going to feel each person's energy differently. You're going to know who's bad, who's good, who's not to be around. I forgot the damn next question. I'm so sorry. For everything that I could say that's happened to me in my life, for anybody out there that is confused and you feel like you're crazy, but things add up in a way that are actually happening, that what you've heard, seen, or anything like that, my advice is don't feel bad. Talk about it, write it down. I have a dream journal. I have several notebooks with, I have a notebook, like several notebooks with all of my workings in them, with the names and places and dates and all that kind of stuff. All of that kind of stuff. You can pick up energy anywhere, as crazy it sounds disgusting, but I've had energy speak to me while I'm in the bathroom. And I've actually had to say, you know, I understand you don't have a body, and space to a spirit isn't, how can you say this? Space to a spirit, like it would be for us. We're sitting in a certain space. There is no space where they are. It's just, they're in a place where they're just energy flowingly. And people ask how I know this. Well, when I was pregnant for Caleb, I had passed away for a few minutes. And I felt so calm, so warm, and I just felt like I didn't even want to come back, but I knew I had to for him, because something was wrong and I needed to go back for him. And the light was so bright, but it was off just a little bit to where I didn't reach it. And it sounds so typical because you've heard that story before. And sorry, I'm just getting small phrases here. You don't ever think the things that you hear on TV are actual facts, you know. I guess you suppose it seems like the unknown is scary because we're taught it to be scary. But you're not taught about the unknown in school. You're not taught about, you know, this is one of the books, you know, Ghost is, now that looks creepy to you, but for me that's not scary because I've actually seen things like this before. And we're taught that all this is scary because it's not natural. This world is not natural. Nothing about it is natural. Well, usually, honey, when you feel afraid for something like that, when you feel afraid of something like that, if you're getting that in your gut feeling, yeah, you definitely see and hear things in hospice. Like, my sister passed away at home, and the things I've seen at home from her passing alone, it could be a fear of you leaving your kids with somebody. It could be a fear of you picking up on, not a lot of people treat our children the way we would treat them, or some are just cruel and mean. And I'm not saying that's what it would be, but maybe you're just picking up on an aggravation she feels, and maybe you just don't know if you can trust her. The best thing about that is if your kids are old enough to speak, ask them questions, because for me, I understand that completely, because you know, it's hard for me to trust with Caleb, because Caleb has the mind of a 3 or 4 year old, and he's 11. And as big as he is, you know, he doesn't really understand the concept of somebody hurting him. And that's one of my biggest fears. And as a mother, I get exactly what you mean. For anybody that wants to know about readings, just know. Okay, so you do understand and you do know. And there's no other place for the children to go to. Maybe child daycare, or I know some people don't have that option, or it's, for me, I didn't it's hard because I didn't have to send my kids to daycare or anything like that, so I don't yeah, I know it's tough. If I was with you, I would help you. I would watch the babies. I hate to hear a mother feel that way, because the things that go through your heads when you have to go to work. You know, I was graciously enough, you know, to have a blessing of my husband being there with the kids, and I don't, you know, he would work the day and I would work the night. We didn't get to see each other that much, but, you know, that worry I didn't really get to have. You know, when he went to a place to help him speak, I was very afraid that somebody was going to be mean to him because he couldn't talk. He didn't talk till he was 5, and I was really afraid. No, exactly. She shouldn't have to go through that with her children. It's awful. Good, very good. Take advantage of that, because your 6-year-old can tell you. And sometimes if you, I'm a mom, you're a mom, I'm sure you know how to get your kids to tell you things. The best thing you could do in that kind of situation is make it like a game to them. So, you know, try to distract them and talk to them at the same time. Like coloring or playing with the blocks, and get them to talk and not realize that too. A lot of people are doing the like the video, I don't know, there's a lot of little camera things that are so cheap online. You can actually put it on anything. They're just so tiny, you don't even know they're there. I've thought about stuff like that with Caleb. I used to be so afraid to send him to school. Yep, nanny cam, absolutely. So I want to go over just a few things that I've heard tonight. I'm going to wait a few more minutes to see if anything else comes through. Night or light? Oh, that's awful. That makes me so sad. God. That's if somebody does that to a child, you are not even a human being. And I don't want to insult anybody, but if you hurt a child, you are not a human being. Hurt anybody for that fact, you're not a human being. So the words that I got tonight, I'm gonna give it a few more minutes though. So if any of you guys do other some do. But empathic people, yeah, most likely. Empathic people usually attract people that need help, that need, women empaths usually attract men to them, not on purpose. Thank you, Donna. I'm going to try to do these, at least try to do it at once a week, so I can do this for people to see if anybody comes over for them, because I hate just doing one person at a time. If I can get this so people can hear possibly something that's connected to them, that would make me feel better for them. I'm going to go through this list. I am going to give it a few more minutes. Strange, I got like some odd phrases. I did get one person's name, so I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. So if you guys want to say right now before this video is over, if anybody wants to say hello to a loved one and just say their name on your end and just say, you know, I'm sorry. To help if a chick is if anybody wants to say hello to a loved one really quick and try to say, refer back to me, that might help too. Some people just show up that are meant to show up, or some people that are online right now are usually either just saying a name. Yeah, that too. What I like to do is for you not to say on here in case they come through and gonna know it's for you. That's how I work. That's how people know this is the real thing. You can still do that if you want. So I'm gonna say the words, but Brian was already mentioned. Skype was already talked about. A name Ryan, I believe. Now, her name came through in the beginning. Just Kiara Cole's whole name came through. Chief Skylar, No Time, and Night or Light. Now, I don't know what some of these things mean, so if they mean anything to you guys, I know a few things on here are verified. I have a Jasmine. A Jasmine here that says a name Jasmine's being said. So if anybody would like to say hello to a loved one, or my heart's, I have somebody here that's passed of a heart attack. That's for definite, because when a heart attack for me is when my heart starts palpitating, and that's my sign for somebody's here with a heart attack. So I don't know if this Jasmine person that I just heard has passed of a heart attack. I'm not sure. Joe's got Daddy. Hello, Grandma Lois. Okay. I'm not sure. I would come through. Well, honey Carol, why don't you try saying their names where you are, and maybe I can get one of their names. And I'll try to do this for you guys once a week as best as I can, so that you may not feel left out or get left out, because I feel like even though I can't make the videos all the time, doing this is also helping you guys too. Yes, I can't comment on the Savannah Spurlock case, not to sound rude. I had a word name. It almost sounded like it's an older name, but it's a pretty name. It's like a Clary or a Carrie. You're so welcome. Can anybody verify a Clary or a Carrie? I feel like it's a Clary though. Okay. Like I said, just because the name is said doesn't mean that's the past person. It could be the person that, the passed on person that is for. That's a beautiful name. I love that name. Hi, Baz. That's a beautiful name. So if a Clary means anything to you, I don't even know if that's a name. That could just be something important. Hello, Malcolm. Jasmine, look who popped out, a Jasmine. So a Clary or a Carrie. I've missed you too, honey. Okay. I'm not sure if this is, I'm hearing it right, a Ralph. Just a hello, Lottie. Thank you so much for, thank you. Your mom went by Carrie. Could be Carrie, Clary, almost the same. Sometimes it doesn't come through the way it's supposed to, but I have to say exactly how I hear it. I try to make up 2 variations of the words. Hi, Megan. A lot of people, they judge on the name Good Witch. Like I said, I'm a practicing Wiccan. I've been that way since I was a teenager. I don't do anything bad. I don't hurt anybody. I don't curse anything. I use herbs. I use crystals. I use candles. I don't do any of that funny stuff. Thank you, Baz. I'm sorry, there's certain, you guys are following my lead here because now I'm getting a couple people talking here. I'm trying to figure out what their names are. Hello, Darren, BKAs. Oh, okay, Linda. I got a Mark. I think it's a Jenny or a Penny. And this could be, and some of these names could actually be like statements of something. Hi, Dante Jones. Miss Janice. Hi. How funny. Yeah, you know. Miss Donna says hello to her loved ones. And a John. Hello, Uncle Raymond. It's funny, it's my grandfather's name. Grandfather Raymond. And my grandmother's name was a Josephina. Thank you, honey. That was funny. I think I spoke to you before because my dad. Ah, okay. Did you ask for the name to be said? And I also heard the name Sayer before, so I'm assuming that's one of the girls on my list, but Sayer can just be an actual word. It doesn't actually mean that's an actual name. You know, my name I usually go by, it's something, the reason why I use it is because I'm very highly connected to the moon. So what I actually call myself is Lady Moon. I've called myself since I was a teenager. I'm very connected with the moon. Just the masculinity of the sun and its just warmness, it just feels so wholesome to me. And then you have the divination of the moon and the pull of the moon. It's just amazing. I'm sorry, I'm trying to hear who this is. Oh, I wonder if that's one person. My grandmother's name is Mary Catherine. On my father's side, I've never met her, but just look like her. Okay. Does anybody else out there, as in you guys? Hello, Judy and Maria. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to listen. Anybody else out there, if you could say a name. Hello, Sasha. Yes. Linda baby? Did she ever call you that? Linda baby? Eric. A woman tied to the moon is on. Regardless of religious choice. Absolutely. A woman, we won't, my Aunt Mary Catherine. In general, retrospective is the moon. I'm very connected to a period that has nothing to do with the menstrual cycle for me. That's just, hey, Charles. Linda went back. Linda, Miss Shar is speaking over here. Linda went back. True. True. Papa Jimmy. Thank you. Oh, okay. I also have a Devon, but oddly, that's my son's name, so I'm not too sure if that's meant for my son or somebody out there. That's Does anybody else want to talk to anybody here? So, number 7. Baz, my mom passed away due to a heart attack. Aunt Sharon, yeah. A lot of heart attacks come to me that way through heart palpitations, or when I read a spirit. Like my last reading, I did a reading and the spirit had told me he had passed away from a heart attack, but he did this, which is typical. For me, that's saying he got CPR or some type of work done on his chest to make sure he didn't pass, but he did. It's awful. It's awful. I sometimes hello Penny. Yeah. I don't know if you can see the list. It's backwards too. That didn't help you guys. Sorry. Hello to all my loved ones. Prom, Mom, Daddy, love you. I'm trying to read so fast. I'm sorry. I tried to catch the last one. I so am sorry. I can get a name. I can get a number. I can get a memory. I can get a smell. I can just get next to anything. It's just when they want to. It's like it has to be their time to do it. I can't control or kind of. It's like saying I don't have. Yeah, honey, we all miss Kiara. And I never knew Kiara, but I've gotten pretty close to Kiara. You can pick up on a spirit when they're around you, when you have this kind of stuff. For me, it's just so natural now. It doesn't bother me that they're here. Right, they are. You're right. Absolutely. I'm not sure what the last part, I'm sorry, what it says. Tom. A Tom and a Michael. A Michael to be exact. A Tom to be exact. I don't know. I'm not going to say this word because I'm not too sure what that involves. And if that involves a case that I'm on. It's just a word. It's not a name. I've heard this word before, but I'm not too sure what it means. Huh. Well, he says hello. I'm not too sure what this means. Relinquished title. I could have swore I've heard this word before in one of my readings, but I'm not too sure, so I don't want to give a definite. Yeah, it's definitely tough for an empathic person. Empathic person, being clairvoyant, that's not the tough part, I feel, out of the 3 for me. Clairvoyant is where you see, but you also, when you see and you hear and you feel all at the same time, it's really tough. So that's why clairvoyant can really just zoom in. Like, I guess you could say, wants to pay attention more to, I don't like to say visions because people look at you in a way like, you say visions, you know. I like to say pictures or a paused picture. Oh my God, how funny is that? Skylar is my cousin and Penny is my mom. Neither of them passed but are going through a lot right now. Yeah, I'm sure. So it's probably somebody that is connected to the family then, and they just, if they're going through a tough time, that could be their message to them that it's going to be okay. Oddly, there was a question before of, do I think Teresa Caputo, if I said it right, is real? I don't really watch her show too often. I think I've seen it probably a few times. Um, I don't like to call people fake. Was it? Okay. I don't like to call people fake. Um, I don't, the only thing I don't, she had, each medium has their own way of describing things and how it comes to them. Positive vibes. Okay. Um, and how they explain them is up to them and how they choose. And some people just explain it in a more detailed way. For me, spirit medium palmistry making me, and I I don't say things that are extra in my reading. I can only, for me, I only say what I hear and what I feel and what I see. Um, some of the things that she says, I feel like she adds on to make people feel better. Do I not? Do I think she's fake? No, but I also don't. I don't know her like that, and I don't really watch her show, so I can't. I've seen things. Um, I know, right? I understand. I found her. Um, I don't really see her show or whatever it is that she has on TV, and I don't like to judge people. I've seen it a couple times, and spirits can get into detail about things, but I'm not too sure how much detail she gets, I guess you could say. I can't personally say that. I get a lot of words, as you guys can see, a lot of names are popping up for you. Um, I'm getting weird phrases. Walking tall? I'm getting a name with a B. Hold on, so I'm just, it's like a B name and then a word after that. Benjamin. Benjamin. Oh. Hi, Benny. This is so odd. This is not for anybody. I don't think this is my husband's cousin who passed away a few years ago. He had an enlarged heart and he passed away. Astrology, spirit medium. Oh, I'm so trying to read your message. I'm sorry. I got. Oh, this is frustrating sometimes. Benjamin David is my husband's nephew who died at 18. He had an enlarged heart and his body filled up with fluid and he passed away at home. My grandmother thinks I am her daughter that passed away reincarnated. Oh, very possible. Very possible. Very possible. There's documented cases of that kind of stuff all over the place. I actually have a very good friend. Her son says things that he has no possible way of knowing of. That actually, there's no pictures available to him that he would know these kind of things. That was one of the questions, I think. I have recollection of 2 past lives. I don't know how. I don't even know the third one because I don't know because I wasn't born yet. And I asked my mother over and over and over again, are you sure he wasn't born yet? Are you sure he wasn't born yet? Before I was born, I'll start off with that. Our family lived like 10 miles before the Canadian border. Or so, right up in that area. Possibly, Donna. I reply to your message you wrote. Okay. And I can tell you exactly where everything is on the farm that my family had. And I don't understand it because I can even remember my sister being bit by the rabbit we had in the barn. We had white rabbits in our barn. We had a barn on this side. We had the chicken coop in the middle of the backyard. And the big tree my dad used to cut the chickens' heads off with. Oh, awful. Sorry I had to tell you the whole story, though. And my sister had walked into the barn one day and she stuck her finger in to pet, the rabbits, and she got bit on her index finger. And till this day, my mother and my family don't know how I know that, because I wasn't even born yet. Um, I wasn't, I wasn't, my mom had 11 kids, and there was 4 of us who weren't born yet, and there'd just be no way I would know that, because that was way before I was born. There's just no possible way, and I can tell you exactly where everything was, what it looked like, how everything was. And my mom is still dumbfounded to this day, because I don't know how I know that. I have a recollection. Now, this is strange, because I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm a big baby about it. I don't know how to swim. And I remember drowning in my last life. And yes, my mom had 11 kids. Oh, yeah, we're okay, Bez. Now I don't feel so out there. That's a lot of kids to have. So a lot of people look at you like, whoa. I have a memory of a woman with white hair. And she looks to be in a red, almost like a red, I guess you could say sweater, or I wouldn't call it a sweater. It looked like a red, I guess you could say jacket. And I remember the water, and I just remember driftwood just floating in the water. And in that memory, I hear lighthouse keeper, but I have no idea exactly. I have no idea, because I'm deathly afraid of water. I love, and I mean love, sailboats and lighthouses. Like, I have no idea what the connection is to that, because I'm deathly afraid of water. And I mean, I won't even go in the water at the beach. I'm a big baby. I'll go in the swimming pool, but I won't go in the beach. I'm terrified of it. That for me, hi, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Please forgive me. Hi back to you. I don't want to mess it up on you. I'm sorry. I don't know how I know that, but I know that was me. Aw, I love you back, guys. My mom had 7. The last 2 was twins. Oh, there you go. That number 7 came through. Hold on a minute. Ron or Don? I'm getting something like water or leak. It's like I home into that. I have to just... So Ron or Don, water leak. I'm sorry, that just, if they give me that, that's all I can give you. You have 7 children. Very happy. So if Ron or Don makes sense to you, please do let me know before we end this. The other past life for me, the only problem with that one is okay. The only other part for the other one for me is this was a really old memory, and I know that this has to be a past life, because when I was seeing this, I wasn't fully asleep. Like, I was almost like lucid dreaming, I guess you would call it. That's what. But for me, some families cross over in 3s. Their energies recycle with each other. They pass on and they go to the next life with each other. My mother, my sister, and we have recycled a few times together. It sounds insane, I know. Please forgive me. I lost my sister the other night under suspicion circumstances. Oh. Capture. Strangely, when I saw that last one. And what I had saw in that memory is me, my sister, my mother were men, and it looked like we had the long black, we had buckled shoes on and these white, it looked to be leggings, and we had these hats and we had these wire glasses, and we were walking up Stone Road, and there was like It almost looks like hay top roofs, like what I don't know what you'd call it, but it looked almost like hay in a sense, if that's what you would call it. Mud, stone road, and we were walking like I almost got the sense like we were like I guess you would call hanging judges or something like that. But I knew which one was which. I knew who my mother was, I knew who I was, and I knew who my sister was. And I could get into so many stories with you guys. You guys would be like shocked, but yeah, something like that. So, but it just kind of looked like mud, and then like yeah, it's the same. Like people pass in threes, they come back together, I guess you could say. And in that memory, I realized I knew exactly who was who, even though we didn't look anything like we were males. And I thought to myself, wow. Passed away, my friend was afraid to sleep over my house because it filled. Some spirits can be funny and fresh. You feel a lot of people feel deja vu and they don't get why. That is yeah, a lot of people have a gift just from when they sleep. Deja vu a lot. Like you feel like you've been there, you've done that already, but you don't know how because you've never been in a place before. That's, I guess you could call recycled energy. Just because you're here and now doesn't mean you weren't here before in a different way, if you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Dreams, what people have is a lot of people are gifted through dreaming, and your dreams, you can have past loved ones come through. You can also dream about past lives. I've done that through dreaming, like I was just speaking about. I'm sorry, I got a strange phrase. Awake before. Deja vu, they call it deja vu. Cheating on you in a few months. See, I've done that and it was actually true. So I can't say specifically in your matter. Oh, okay, there you go. I did too. And I was really pissed for a while because I didn't listen to my dream. And I was pissed at myself because there's our dreams that you pay attention to. I like to tell people, pay attention to the littlest dream that you can remember, like the littlest thing. If you remember, a lot of people dream about their teeth falling out, their nails falling off, animals. There's just so many things that has meaning to it. You just have to pay attention and understand what it could be. Spiritually wise, a lot of people dismiss it. Inner emotional wise, you do dream about your inner downfalls, your inner fears and things like that. You do dream about that, and it comes out in ways that you don't understand because you're not going to expect it to be that very way. Yeah, a lot of people they can do that. Yeah, no. Yeah, Linda, there's so many strange things that people do and they just dismiss it or they're just too scared to talk about it. And one thing I try to tell people is don't be afraid. Look at me. I've come a long way. You can do it. I would never judge anybody just because of what I've been through in life and I've seen and heard and felt. It's real as day. There's a spirit world. There are people that just don't want to go because they're not ready. They want to stay here with their families, or they're just not ready to go to the light because they're intimidated. When they go to the light, it's scary to them because they're not ready to let go of being themselves. They don't know what's involved in the light. My mom doesn't believe in ghosts or anything. It's tough. Yeah. Like, everybody in our families has experienced the most craziest, excuse my language, shit. And there are, I believe in God. A lot of people, I've dreamed I was naked driving in a car, and I'm just like free for all in it. Yeah, those dreams are, dreaming about your teeth falling out, those are worries. You're very highly worried, and it makes you like a feeling of you're losing yourself if you get the idealistic part of it. You know, schizophrenia is very tough to deal with in itself, and it has its downfalls. It's not that they bring bad energy into the house. They're highly sensitive already. Um, okay. And the downfall of schizophrenia is there's so many things that come with schizophrenia that it's kind of like you're picking up their negative way of how they feel. Remember, there's schizophrenia that is, there's schizophrenia that they see thought forms. They see things that aren't there, and there are some schizophrenias that very well do see things that are there because they are gifted to. They just don't get it. Oh yeah, driving down the street, falling off the cliff. You ever feel like you're falling off the bed when you wake up and catch yourself? Idealistically, dreaming about that thought form is the manifestation in your dream is you're dreaming about something in your life that is weighing you down heavily, and it comes out in a form that you see it as evil. It's very hard to interpret dreams, and everything can mean something. It's just really hard to just put it out to what it means because I'm not you and I don't understand what you're dreaming about, and you had stated that. I just think that do you know someone addiction? I've known people that were addicted to drugs, absolutely, yes. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read all your stuff and I'm not getting it all. I'm so sorry. Back to my mom, the one thing that I always wanted that I never got from her was, some sound the same, some are clearly vocally male or female. It can be a whisper, it can be loud as day, it can be things that I'll wake up and hear. I can just, like the other day I woke up early in the morning and I heard the number 15, and that was it, but it was like a younger male, it was a little boy. One night I was laying in bed, and sometimes I get pissed off because I need to sleep, and if you're talking, I need you to stop so I can get my rest. And I hear this lady and this man talking, and she had said she's not listening to us anymore. No, I just need you to be quiet because I need to sleep. And did I feel bad? Yes, but sometimes you have to let them know you're the boss, you're in control. You know, passing on, there's so many documented cases Baz, the things that you could say, you have no idea the things that. Yeah, that happens, honey. That happens. Some people when they pass away, they don't realize that they've been to the other side, so that leaves them open. It leaves them in on their level of spiritual wise, if you get what I'm trying to say, and you come back as that way. Yeah, sometimes the facts can get backwards, but they happen still, you know. A lot of people. I'm sorry, Baz, I didn't see your message, honey. Um, back to my mom. The one thing I didn't get from my mom is she was very stern, and she was very she was always quiet. She didn't really talk much. So it was always kind of, I was like yearning for my mom to be my mom. I never got hugs. I never got kisses. Um, she was a tough lady, and a lot of times I think she was just scared to touch us just because of what she had, and it bothered her a lot. And I didn't realize that until I got much older, because I'm like that too. I have no problem hugging and kissing my children, but to shake hands with people, it's really tough because it can be difficult because you get their energy. I just never understood why my mom was afraid to hug us until I got a lot older. And it was rough for me because I just never got that, you know, what I needed. So I promised that no matter what, I would always, no matter how I felt or picked up on from my kids, I would always hug and kiss them. Thank you, babe. You're so sweet. Planes, planes, planes. Every time my husband talks me into going onto a plane to like, I'm just like, nope, 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 because we've planned vacations plenty of times, you know. But with Caleb, we can't go on vacations because he's not able to travel. But dreaming about it, I've had awful dreams about death. I had a dream my daughter was murdered, and I had a dream my son had passed away. Those kind of dreams are so terrifying because of what I am. I just, you know, I'll get to points where I'll pick up on something really bad is coming, and I'll stay up all night, and I can cry, and I'll get sick to my stomach because I feel it and it's coming. And I'll, you know, text my kids. I'm like, "Are you okay? You know, is everything all right? Please be careful how you drive or anything." And they're just like, "Mom, I'm okay." Or I had a friend pass on, and he had actually came to me, and he had let me know, and I had actually been told through Facebook Messenger what had happened. And I said, I already know. That one was hard for me. Yes, you do. You know when it's coming. Like I say, numbers for me are death and birth. If they add up to the same number, I know that someone's going to. I knew when my granddaughter was going to be born, Riley, because I kept getting April 1st, April 1st. But my daughter wasn't due for several weeks after that date, but I knew she was coming because I kept seeing a little girl and she was smiling in the high chair, and I would see those numbers add up and add up and add up. You're so welcome. But I also, it doesn't have to be someone in my family. It could be a friend. It could be a neighbor. If I pick up on passing, the latest one was my sister. Well, she's like a sister, so I call her my sister, but she's my sister-in-law. And she had passed suddenly, like it hit just like that. And it was only like last month, and it was tough because, you know, she's my son's godmother, and you know, she helped raise us too. And I know. Thank you, honey. Um, I knew something was happening because I heard the death knocks, and I heard them several times, several times, several times. And I'll get to that numbers in just a second. I won't forget, I promise. How it goes is if it's my direct family, I'll get 3 very distinctive loud knocks. And I mean, bam. And I mean to the point where it wakes me from a dead sleep. And when her passing was coming, it's depending on the family connection. I guess you could say, more or less, think of it in a way that you're just an open person possibly, and you don't care what people think. I've dreamt about being taken on a bus. But the knocks matter to me because if it's like family that is married into, or if it's like a distant family or a friend, what I'll get knocks, but I'll get them several in a row. Like instead of 1, 2, 3, that's close to me, so it's only 1, 2, 3. I'll get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 sets for distant, like married family that's been married into the family. But if it's close, like a sister or brother, aunt or uncle, something like that, it's 3 distinctive loud booms, and I will hear them until right. And the last night that I heard them, my sister-in-law had passed, and I woke to a message that it was like so unintended. It was so unknowing. Like she wasn't in the hospital prior to or anything. It was just, I wake up to a message and boom, there it was. I said, honey, there it is. Numbers you pay attention to, because that is synchronous. I'm sorry, I can't say the word. Just the number pattern, okay? I'm going to say it like that. Please don't laugh at me. The numbers you pay attention to, those are patterns from spirit guides or spirit world, or a higher consciousness, I like to call it, that is giving you a sense of a sign that you need to pay attention to. I try to be, Carol, because so many people need that. So many people get judged on a daily basis. They don't need to be judged by anybody. They just need somebody to listen to them and understand them. Sorry, I'm just trying to read your message, honey. I get a lot of numbers a lot through the day. Like, so happens that I'll look down at the clock and it'll be 444, it'll be 111, or it'll be 1111. It just oddly, those number patterns. And those are positive number patterns. Those are not anything negative you pay attention to. The one thing I will tell you right now is go look up on numerology, and you will find numerology, synchronicity. There you go, I said it. Pay attention to those types, because that explains it all to you, every last bit of it. I get 555. It's always strange. Yeah, and what about 1234? I don't know. That's one thing I can't really say too much on. I don't really know. I'm just used to seeing those numbers that one after another that are same numbers. What was that? Why is she laughing? Who? I'm actually speaking with people here on my phone. If you would like to say anything to one of your family members to listen to you, they're absolutely listening to you. There is quite a few people on here right now. Yes, I'm giving people lessons. How funny is that? Grandmother. Grandmother Jane. For who? Who is Grandmother Jane for? Or are you calling me Grandmother Jane? Some of them can be funny. They like to. Ah. So is it Jane or June? See, I hear Jane, so I have to say what I hear. I'm going to turn the page here. Walking. Okay. Sometimes I just get phrases that end up meaning something. I don't know what walking would mean to. Ron. I want to say it was exactly said like this. A Ronald. Ronald. Last name, or the name Jones. Ooh, okay. I'm getting some words here that I'm not going to repeat because that I don't think has to do. I don't know if I should. Let me just leave it at that, okay? I'm sure you guys understand that. Absolutely, honey. This is a long. This is an hour and 27 minutes. I understand it completely. I wasn't even expecting to be on here that long. A Thomas. I'm sorry. I'm just the names. I'm trying to get the names so people. A Jean? It could be a Jean. I heard Jean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for some that it's this long. Thank you to those who are still hanging on. Thompson. Or Renee. Hello. So the newest name I hear is a Renee and also a Thompson. No, I haven't heard of Susan, honey. I mean, if that name, the few names that I have said, you know, sometimes they just say their last name. They don't say their first name, but Thompson is a name that is a lot of people have, so I'm not too sure. Oh, and there's also a Renee as well. Jonathan. I'm sorry, sometimes I'm missing. When someone's speaking to me, I turn my head to that direction. Oh, no, that's okay, honey. Is it Frank or Franklin? I'm getting a bunch of name Frank. I think it's whoever this was said the word Frank and then Lynn. So I'm wondering if it's a Frank and a Lynn or a Franklin. Ha, Linda. Doesn't surprise me. You have a lot of activity around you, honey. You always, you had those you had a couple of people with me that night. Is it a George? I bet you she was. You're the granddaughter. You take after her, I bet. Okay, I'm going to shut this down in a minute. Does anybody else? My Uncle Frank passed last year. Aw. So I'm wondering if it's a Frank and then a Lynn. It's not. It's sometimes they make it sound like two words, you know. That's why I always try to say two variations or one together. Would anybody from here like to say anything quick, as in to yourselves, and see if I can get anything else really quick? I'm hearing a couple of phrases being said, but I'm trying to make out. It's easy to get the one word, but it's tough when it's boom, 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 boom. Any Erics? I didn't get an Eric, no. I'm sorry. You guys can hear my TV pretty good. I'm getting this strange phrase that's being repeated. First it was Thomas, and then I got went with them. So I don't know with them. That can mean something, but I'm just gonna leave that alone. But if somebody on here might know what that means, and if that you feel that's meant for you, I've just heard that in the last few minutes. I'm so sorry. Hi, Nancy. I'm just trying to wait it out a few more minutes to see if anybody else says a name. Another I said Johnson already. I'm not sure if Johnson means anything out there, but obviously that's the last name, it sounds like. I've been on live for almost an hour and a half now. I hope I'm not boring anybody. I'm just trying to get as many names as I can get to come through so people can have that warm heart and feel better. Minnie. I will tell Minnie you said hello. Is it Jonathan? You know, I don't know. I just, sometimes it comes through straight, and then, or it could just come separately, and that has to be added up into, unless I did Jonathan and Johnson came a few times. Oh, Donna, how funny. You've gotten quite a few things on here that could belong to you. Aunt Sharon. Oh, Linda, you too. Before Linda and Donna again, I got Johnson again, so that must mean for one of you two. That is my stepson, but he is not dead. But, oh, okay. Johnson is being repeated, so that must mean something for somebody on here. That's clear. I just started doing repeat occasion before. A lot of people are trying to work her case and try to help out, and that's the best thing you could do, is just try to help. You know, it's unfortunate and sad that it's this way for a lot of people. This is another reason why I like to help, just because it gets information out there. checks out. Okay, yes. A Lizzie, a hello to a Lizzie for, I see a little bit of blood here. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. My nephew passed away at 8 years old of cancer, and when he passed, you know, he said to me, you know, I had lost my faith. That's not something I won't deny. But my nephew brought it back for me. When he was 8 years old, he had said to me, "It's okay. I'm not afraid. The angels are in the corner waiting for me. They're right over there." And for a little boy to say that, it gave me pause, because he wasn't afraid. And I, being, you know, a teenager at that time, you know, about to be 20 years old, I thought to myself, how and why does this stuff happen to people, and how can children be taken away, or just anybody for that matter, from a disease like this? And I've just come to the understanding that I won't ever understand it, and I can't say that I will. I just know that it's not fair, but it's, I don't want to say meant to be, because I don't feel anybody's meant to be that way and passing away, and that's such. So I can't honestly say that I agree with it, because I know that, I don't want to say meant to be, I just hate using that word. To hear a little boy say what he said, I know he wasn't hallucinating, because at that very moment I had saw what I call the sparkly people. I've called them that since I was a little girl. Little purple, blue, white sparkles. Yvette says hello to Alex. And I've called him that my whole life. And that's what he said. He said, "Don't you see them?" And I looked over and I had saw something at that very moment. I didn't see angels, but I called them sparkly people. It just really touched my heart, but at the same time I was devastated. So absolutely, I believe there's a God, there's a heaven, there's a lot of everybody has their own form of a God. Buddha, Jesus Christ, Allah. There's so many different names for a God, and so many different ways of writing in Bibles, and, you know, things of that nature. We all come from this place of a creation, just in general, period. I read the sparkly people. Sheridan. The word Jack. I don't know if that's Jackson for Linda Jackson, or just the word Jack. So I'm trying to peep over and listen at the same time. I'm sorry, I don't know what this means. Water in town. Now, I know that's an actual town of someplace. I've seen it on the news before somewhere. My friend said his last name was Jackson. A lot of Jacksons out there. A lot of Johnsons, Thompsons. Can you say hi to my dad, Eric, and let him know? Yes, I absolutely will, Samantha. Samantha says hello to Eric. Oh, my brother-in-law's Jack. Oh, so that's a match to something. A Jack Johnson. I'm wondering. Thank you, honey. Can you say hi to my dear friend Maria? Nancy says hello to her dear friend Maria. I have a dear friend Maria too. I think my son fell asleep because I can hear his TV got a little bit louder for oddly, and he doesn't turn the TV up at night, so I'm wondering what that means. Yes, okay. Pay attention. Yes, I can actually... So I'm sorry if it gets extra noisy in the background. Dominic, he knows me as Sherry too. A Dominic. Saying hello to a Dominic. Dante Jones, we love him. Thank you. Hello to a Dante Jones, and that you are very loved, honey. Maria knows me as a Maureen. Okay. Maria, Maureen says hello and she misses you. Jackson again. Jackson again. I thought I heard the same phrase before. Yes, no, it was went with them, went through. But I have heard this earlier. Went through my dad's last name. Your dad's last name? Is it Jackson or Johnson? Oh, okay. That is so odd. You know, I'm wondering if this is thanks for doing hello. Absolutely, honey. I wonder if that's why I'm hearing so many times Jackson, because probably there's more than one Jackson. Absolutely, honey. I'm getting a strange phrase again. Monitor them. It's like, sounds like it's saying, the word is saying monitor them. I did say hold on, let me say, honey. Yes, a Ronald and a Jones. Yes, I did. Why is that a husband's name? That's odd because, well, there is a Ronald, yes, and a Jones. I'm not sure if you could see it. A family friend. Is that person passed away, or is that someone saying, look at a Ronald and a Jones? I know that's backwards, but I'm just trying to show you that's on paper. Okay, I have a Rita. It sounds like a Rita Jones. Okay, Donna. I guess you weren't fooling around when you said you had a lot of just people that were passed on. Hello, Miss Judy. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name, honey. Still live? I'm still live. I'm sorry, I have names coming through, and I really hate shutting them down right at this moment. I have a name by the name of Rita, and then the word Jones. So I'm hearing something oddly. Formidable. I don't know if that's to her, that name. I'll be done in a minute, okay? A Rita Jones, and then the word formidable. I'm not too sure what that even means. I think it's a Johnson again. I'm just gonna put Johnson because it sounded too funny to be not that word. Or a Ron and a son, like, because it came through as Ronson, but to me that would be Johnson, or it could be Ron and son. So I'll put that abbreviation down. I'm not sure. That TV is annoying, isn't it? I'm sorry. If you could retype that for me, I will try my best to answer a question of that. I bet. Absolutely, honey, absolutely. And that's definitely one thing that this is why I was trying to do this as well, so people get a chance to say hello to their loved ones and hopefully get that answer back. And quite a few of you are saying the names are coming back for you that you've had asked for. I'm just going to assume went with them is in a case, and that's what I'm going to leave it as, because I've heard that again. Went with them. And I've heard this now a few times, so this tells me, oh, darling, I'm not gonna mention the name. Not that it. I don't. I'm not going to mention the name. I'm not sure what that word means, so I'm not going to mention that one because I feel like I'm getting the word. I'm just going to say clearance. I don't know what that would mean. Okay. It's funny because a lot of people on here are saying the last name Johnson and Jackson, and it's no coincidence that a lot of you are Johnson and Jackson. It's just, it can't be. Jessica and Brian, I missed them both so much. Crystal says, Jessica and Brian, she misses you very, very much. Okay, I've got a name. I'm assuming this is the last name of somebody, a Davidson. Shoot. I don't know if this is for somebody out there or for... Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think this may be my husband's cousin again. Yvette says hello to Rosie. I'm assuming that you guys are following my direction. Chanel. Hello, Jeff. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read that name. I have another name. If you guys can, you are so welcome, honey. I believe it's Donaldson. I believe that's the last name. Tell my dear friend Kenneth I miss him and love him. Absolutely. Linda says she misses you, Kenneth. I'm picking up on something. Okay, honey. What's the direction you want us to follow? I missed the start. Oh, you're disappearing really fast here. That was quick. A Donaldson, so we're... Yvette says, tell Rosie. Chichi said she loves her. Does a Donaldson mean anything to anybody? That's not a common name. It's like, or Donald and the word son. That's odd because I got another name like that. Ron and son, Donald and son. I think it's a male spirit trying to say, I don't know the real name of the case I'm investigating. I'm not too sure what you mean by that, honey. Are we talking about the Savannah case? Savannah case I can't discuss. I'm sure you understand why. Okay. And it's Samantha again. How funny is that? Donald came through for her. And that is just... I love doing this kind of surprise work. Good night. Thank you, Baz. Good night to you. Maybe I'm saying my dad's... Possibly, honey. I'm gonna do this just for 10 more minutes just to even it off, and then I'll close it down, okay? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Reynolds and Brianna Staten. I'm trying to finish reading that, but these darn messages are going up so fast. Was it an accident? Is that what you're saying? I'm wondering if that's what that means. I'm assuming this is somebody in a case because I keep getting went with them. Katharina says, hello, Lottie. I'm not too sure. Yes, that's good. Okay, and I heard the word stranger, so I'm not too sure, Nancy, if that is for you. Could you please say hello to my... I'm sorry, honey. Megan, I didn't catch that. Nancy, I keep hearing the word went with them, also the word stranger. I don't know if that's stranger word is for that, but that is a recent word that came through. Hello from New Zealand. Hi, James. And my prayers are with everybody in New Zealand, might I add, as that horrible, horrible thing that happened. Can you let the girls? Absolutely. Absolutely. They have not forgotten you, ladies. They have not forgotten you. Absolutely, honey. Does stranger mean anything to you added on to that, Nancy? Can you let me know? Hello, June. Thank you. Absolutely. Okay, that must have been. I wonder if any of the names. Oh, okay. I'm not too. Forgive me on this, Nancy, but I'm not familiar with the names that you had said. I just kept getting a repeated phrase. Baz says, good night, Miss Linda. I wonder if the word clearance is for Nancy as well, because that came up when some of the names are involved in the case. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, you know, I can't control what names come through or what is said. I just record them and write them down so that they're there and available. Oh, okay. Well, evidently this must be a girl because I'm hearing that actual name I just saw on here pop up, Nancy Drew. I don't know why she was mentioned. Just Nancy Drew. Absolutely, honey. Absolutely. I'm going to try to do this once a week. It'd have to be on the weekends. And I know it's long. Oh, that's okay, honey. I want to do this once a week just to help anybody that needs recognition that their loved ones are with them. You can say hello on your end. You don't have to say their names. And if they come through, they come through, and you're going to know. Miss Nancy Drew here says, I've said a few words in a case. I'm not, is it Michaela or? Thank you, honey. Oh, okay, because I heard this word and I wasn't sure. Hi, Beverly. Did I say Ross? Hold on a minute. No, I don't think I said Ross. some words just come through so quick, I try to listen to them all. I'm not too sure what this means. Been found. Unless the word been as in B-E-N and then the word found, but I got been found. Absolutely. It's good to hear from you, Beverly. A word named Malik. Now, I've heard this name. Thank you, Nancy. I've heard this name Malik. Now, I don't know what... I've heard this name before in a case. Thank you, Yvette. I'm not too sure what this name is in generalization to. Thank you, Beverly. I'm not too sure if Malik is in the Kiera Coles case because I've heard that name mentioned, but there is talk of that means when that just meant a word of and it had a phrase to it. But Linda, are you on here still? Because I have a question for you about your reading. I didn't get an answer to. I had messaged you a while ago. Do you know a Malik, Linda? Linda Jackson? Yes, you do? Because that name had come through in your reading, and if you go back to it, I have actually stated in the video, Malik is here, and he says he knows you. And that was in the reading, your private reading that I did, and I wasn't sure what that means. This lady, thank you so much for the kindness and thoughtfulness. Thank you so much, honey. I don't know any other way to be, I guess. I try to help everybody, and sometimes I get frustrated. I'm not gonna say don't. You know, I just think that's why I was put on this earth, I guess you could say. Please say hi to my mom, Betty, and my dad, Robert. Carol Turner says hello to Betty and Robert. And funny, that's my dad's name, Robert. Funny, I'm getting an answer back to that. I could have swore it was tell my daughter hi, hello. Tell my daughter hello? I'm going to leave that one alone for a minute because I don't know if I heard that whole exact phrase. Thompson again. Whoever this Thompson is, Jones. And I'm not too sure why I'm getting those two names because I'm pretty sure I heard that. Hello, my Uncle Tony. James says hello to an Uncle Tony. He was known as Lofty. So James says hello to Lofty. It's so odd I'm getting an answer back to this. Tell him I said hi. And then I got an answer to that other one too. My son is, okay. Were you on my page asking for a reading, honey? I'm not too sure. There's so many names on there. I forget people's names sometimes. I do apologize. Malik. My grandmother's last name was Jones before she married my grandfather. Yvette, it's so strange because you're getting a lot of answers back too. And yeah, I don't think this is by any chance coincidence. Thank you, Beverly. Say hello to Win-Win. Okay, Donna. Getting a weird phrase. Chances are. Chances are rare. I don't know who that would mean for, or what it is for. Some spirits, they just say random things. So I don't know if you guys, okay. I got a lot of the same names, oddly. So I know everything is backwards to you guys, but this is one sheet. 2 sheet, 3 sheet, and I'm going on. So I'm gonna be on here for 10 more seconds, and I just want to tell everybody good night, and I hope you enjoyed our live together. And I'm going to be trying to do this and stick to it to every Saturday night. What did I say? What did you say about Kiara? Just the name being referenced, which gave me her hello, I'm here. That's basically what it is. When a spirit comes to me that I've worked with and they said their full name, then I usually just, that's my knowing of that they're here. Good night, darling. I will see everybody next Saturday, but tomorrow I am doing a private reading for Loving My Babies, my dear angel. I'm gonna get some rest, but the awful part about it is I'm not tired, and I know I have to, absolutely, thank you, Nancy. I know I have to shut it down. I don't even know what time it is right now. Absolutely, everybody, you're welcome to everybody. I will be trying to be back every Saturday night, just so we can say hello to each other without me being recorded on a video. I'll be back tomorrow night for a video. I will try to do every Saturday night as a live, so everybody can just say hello to their loved ones and get answers back. And then I'll just do like a case every few weeks, just so I can get my downtime and relax. And I'm sure you all understand that. Bag was moving over there by itself, whatever. Good night, everybody, and thank you for coming and being here with me. I hope you enjoyed the reading back and forth. A lot of you got the name, so that tells me, because I got the name so many times, that it's not the same person. It's each, a lot of people got names that their relatives by that name. I know it can be a very broad name, and a lot of people have that, but I don't feel that's the case. So you have all a good night and get some rest. I'm going to try, and I'm just going to hopefully have a good night and get some sleep. And tomorrow night I'll be back on for a reading. I don't know how long the reading's going to be, and I'm praying to God nobody steps in my reading. Good night, Ernest. And I'm hoping my Loving My Babies understands everything in her video that I'm going to do for her. Good night, Katharina. Funny thing is when I hear Loving My Babies, I hear God send. So, good night, Sammy. Okay, honey. And I will see you all tomorrow night, and then again next Saturday. And after that, I'll be out of commission until, I get myself cleansed and all that good stuff. But I'll do the live. I just to do it, Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Chanel. And I will see you all tomorrow night, okay? Thank you, everybody, for watching, and good night.